So this story's been around for a while, but I gotta talk about it because it's just that crazy. So I want you to think about the times that you've killed someone in a game. They didn't have to get salty or angry that you did it, just think back to every time you killed someone in a multiplayer game. Well, if you're like me, you probably don't remember because most online video games are about killing other players. It's pretty much how video games are. Well, a Frenchman took it way too far and tried murdering someone because they knifed him in Counter-Strike. Here's the story. So a 20-year-old man named Julien Barrou spent 6 months looking for the person who knifed him in a game of Counter-Strike. Julien lost and eventually found the guy who killed him in-game after searching for half a year. Julien took a kitchen knife and traveled 2 hours, knocked on the guy's door, and when he opened it, he got a knife in the chest. The victim, known as Michael, survived the assault when the knife missed his heart by an inch. Julien was arrested within the hour and told reporters that he wanted to, quote, see his rival wiped out for killing his character. Julien was sentenced to 2 years behind bars and would receive anger management therapy. The judge, Alexine Potel, said to Julien, "You're a menace to society. I'm frankly terrified of the disproportionate reaction you could have if someone looked at you the wrong way in the street." This case happened in 2010, and as far as I've researched, this was all I was able to find. Now this is ridiculous, and honestly something I could have never imagined for myself. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've been mad at video games before. When I was a kid, I had some anger problems, believe it or not, and my brother and I would get into fights over video games all the time. I hated it when he would beat me, so it would resort to violence, but this is primal and childish behavior. And this behavior only lasted for a few minutes. But months? I definitely think this guy should have gone to prison for much longer than 2 years. I mean, yes, America's pretty harsh in regards to punishment. Attempted murder here will get you 10 to 15 years behind bars, but 2 years with anger management courses just doesn't seem like enough. Especially for something that was premeditated for 6 months, over something as small as a video game.
Hello?
You don't know me, but Black Friday you took a toaster from me and I want it back.
Black Friday from 8 months ago?
It doesn't matter how long ago it was my toaster and you took it. Give it back. You're toast, buddy! Damn it, I spent 6 months on that joke. Now in these videos, I always like to get behind the science of people, or in this case, the psychology. See, this guy held a grudge for so long, which would make any average person ask, what was so important? Well, according to a few studies, grudges come with an identity. So long as we continue holding on to the grudge, we're in the right, and letting that go is in a way similar to letting yourself as a person go. The feeling of being wrong is apparently physically painful as well. See, the amygdala is the part of the brain responsible for instinctive responses. This part of the brain lights up when we feel pain, and also when our self-esteem is damaged. When scientists measured the responses from physical pain and this primal emotional pain, they actually found that to some, the mere act of saying "I'm sorry" was similar to sticking their hand in a fire. And when your brain perceives a threat, whether physical or self-image, the amygdala takes control, diverting signals from the cortex, the thinking part of the brain. This is why we have trouble engaging in logical or analytical thought when we're criticized, instead creating instant self-defense reactions. Either way, this story happened back in 2010, so that means back in 2012, Julien Barrou was released and may be gaming again. Be careful who you mess with online, because some of them may just be crazy enough to get you into the next episode of Strange Stories in Gaming.